You have the time for it. You have the time to build the skill set. You have the time to build the business. A lot of people tell me, I don't know if I have the time for this. How did you find the time? As a college student, how did you find the time to do high ticket sales, to get on sales calls? While you were in high school, I have sports, I have this, I have that. How did you find the time? Get this question a lot, even by older people who have jobs. You have to realize that you're gonna make the time for it. When there's something that you really want to do, you will make the time for it. You know, if someone told you, I have this beautiful vacation that I want to go on next week. Do you want to come with me? You know, your expenses are getting paid for. Come on the vacation. Right? And you really wanted to do it. It was at the utmost importance to you. Would you make time for it? Would you make time for that vacation? Yes, you would. Because you really want to do it, and so you're gonna make time for it. Same goes with high ticket sales, with any business model you want to start online. You have to want it bad enough to make the time for it. So I stopped playing my sport in high school. I didn't play a sport so I could pursue high ticket sales. Not because I was unathletic, but because I genuinely just saw something that was way more important to me. And I was like, am I gonna go D1 in this sport? No. Like, be realistic with yourself. How many people are going D1 in your sport? Not that many, right? And so I realized, okay, I'm not gonna go D1. I'm gonna throw all my time into this. Now, I was a great student, right? I went to a really good college after. So in high school, I was taking all honors and AP classes at a college prep school. And then I would make time for sales still. I got up an extra hour early when you couldn't dial in the morning. You couldn't dial leads in the morning. You couldn't do appointment setting before school. And so I spent an extra hour before school. I went into school an hour early and I got almost all my schoolwork, as much as I could, done in that time. I was a master at ChatGPT. I made sure I could get as much stuff done as efficiently as possible because there's a sense of urgency. When you see, okay, I have this hour in the morning to get everything done that's due that day, you would get that shit done in that hour. And so I would make sure I could get all of it done in that hour. And so I woke up an hour early to get schoolwork done. We had free periods during high school. I went to every single free period and got work done. I didn't fuck around. I got as much schoolwork done as possible in those free periods. Lunch was the only time that I'd go and I'd hang out with my boys. But I would make sure I got as much work done at school in the hour before school so that once school's over, I don't even think about school. Like, once I leave school, it's out of my mind. Unless there's this one circumstance where I have to do something. I might do it late at night at 11 p.m. when you also can't dial. But from 3 p.m. when I got out to 11 p.m., I'm not thinking about shit except high ticket sales. I moved everything else around so that I wasn't even thinking about anything else. The only other thing I'd do in that hour, those hours would be eat and then go to the gym. And so that might take a combined 2.5 hours, eating dinner, going to the gym. Every other part of that, I'm doing sales. So for around 5 hours a day, I'm doing high ticket sales. So I made time for it. Every time someone comes to tell me, I don't know if I have the time for this, I don't know if I can make time to make this work, I tell you, you're lying to yourself. You know, that is you looking for the most perfect circumstance to get into something, which if you are always looking for the most perfect circumstance, you're only willing to start a business model or start something if you have the perfect circumstances. You're never going to find them. Work is always going to be in the way. People are always going to try and be getting you to do something. You have to prioritize it, because when you are looking at it from that perspective of, I don't know if I have enough time for it, you're viewing it as the bottom of your priority list. Realistically, how you're looking at it is, okay, what's going on in my days right now? Every day, what do I have to do? And you look at everything you could possibly have to do, all your free time, your work, time with certain people, certain obligations you have, and you place all those higher on the priority list than starting that business, learning high ticket sales. And when you do that, of course you're not gonna find time for it. But when you start viewing high ticket sales as the priority, that's when you start finding time for it. You make time for it. Everyone makes time for something they want. They have the same 24 hours. And if so many of these people are successful and they had a similar background as you, like I did, Why can't you do it? Stop making excuses for yourself. The "I don't have enough time for this" is just an excuse. It's just an excuse for you not to start something. Because at the end of the day, it would add stress. You lose time doing the comfortable, leisurely things like scrolling on TikTok, playing games and stuff like that. You're gonna lose that comfort. And it's gonna be a lot more stressful because you're gonna have to work your ass off. But you have to overcome that. And you have to make the time to do this. And so that's the number one thing I'll tell you about making the time for this, because even when I was in college, this is when I was now making 10 to 15K a month. I dropped out like a week ago, less than a week ago. I was in college. I at first went to classes and I still made time to where like every other waking hour I had sales calls on my calendar. But even at one point, I just stopped going to class. Now you might say, oh, that's stupid. No, I can't just stop going to class. My parents. But it's not stupid, because I realized that that was my number one priority and I had to make more time for it. Right? At first, while I was just building, I didn't cancel school, right? School was still like, okay, I'll go to class. That's one thing I will do. But at one point I realized sales can take me further than college can. Sales can take me further than school can. And I had to make more time for it. I had to make sure there was nothing else in my day that I was 100% obligated to do. Like now the only things I do is record content, work with my students, take sales calls, and go to the gym. That's it. And if I want to go on a vacation to Tulum like this, I can go on it. I can make the time for that, because all of those things are controllable, right? I control my calendar for sales calls. I control my calendar for everything else. I can record content from anywhere. And so you have to understand that the time you have is completely in your control. It is, right? You can go to your boss, you can ask for less hours, just switch up your schedule. And if you ask it very nicely, a lot of bosses will let you. And if not, make the time outside of your working hours for sales. And then later on, take a risk, bro. Start doing Uber Eats to make your extra cash on the side. And then high ticket sales in the other time you have. Start making money with sales, because it's a very quick industry to break into. And then you can quit DoorDash or Uber Eats and go all in with high ticket sales. So you can make the time for it. I promise you, you're able to make the time for it as long as you prioritize sales.